Guys, Jen Hildreth, Allie Wagner, and Allie, in this first half, we thought we might see a little more pep from Washington, but really it was just some good execution on the goal there from Portland.
Yeah, I think you said exactly right. I think Portland went to what they're good at, which is pressing high up the pitch, winning the ball in advanced areas, and then lately they've been overloading zones with Tobin Heath coming over to the opposite side, and oppositions just don't know how to deal with it. And I think Washington started to figure it out a little bit and getting numbers around the ball to solve it, but one up for Portland right now. And it really came off of this play here. This is where Washington struggles because they get spread out so much, and there's this big gap. Mallory Eubanks bites, and then no one is there marking Sinclair. That was either supposed to be Sullivan or Maggie Doherty Howard. She's wide open, and then she's able just to lay that ball right into stride for Haley Rasso. Look at how far cover has to come over in Whitney Church. She can't get there in time. That ball slides across, and now you've got a 1v1 situation, really, Tobin Heath, because cover with Estelle Johnson isn't close enough, and she does up Smith there and then roofs that near post. Such a quality finish by Tobin Heath. I mean, but way too much time to dance like that in the 18-yard box and then unleash a shot.
Definitely too much time for a player like Tobin Heath, and she made the Spirit pay for it. But Washington did manage to get some shots off, much more so than they did on Wednesday night.
Yeah, and Lavelle Pugh, they were the ones that were getting going. Andy Sullivan as well. In that situation was Lavelle cutting into her favored left foot, but Franch is there.
7 shots for Washington. They only had 2 the entire match on Wednesday night, so now get a few more on frame like that one. Force Franch to make some saves. Maybe we get a little more to talk about in the second half. At the moment, Portland leads it 1-0. When we return, we will have the start of our second half here from Washington, D.C. This has been the Ford Halftime Show. Ford, go further. Second half ready to go from Audi Field. Portland Thorns leading the Washington Spirit 1-0 after the first 45. Tobin Heath had the goal in the 15th minute. Her 6th of the season to go along with 6 assists. Portland out shooting Washington 9-7 in that first half. Thorns team trying to keep their hopes alive to have a chance to host a semifinal. They can take a step toward doing that with a win here tonight. Taylor Smith plays it back to Johnson. North Carolina, Seattle, Portland all know that they will be in the postseason, but that 4th spot, it is still up for grabs. Havana Salon gets it up to Hatch. The shot is taken on the ground, too easy to save for A.D. Franch from Andy Sullivan that time. But look at that score line. It was scoreless not too long ago, but then the Sam Kerr show kept rolling on. Vanessa DiBernardo added one, and that's 2 big goals for Chicago, a team to watch out for as they can continue to make their way up the table. Don, you had a chance to talk to both coaches there at the break. What'd you find out?
Yeah, first talking to Tom Torres, interim manager for the Spirit. He's really pleased offensively. They create some opportunities. Said defensively, though, need to keep our work rate up and maintain our organization defensively. On the other side, Mark Parsons said we've got to be really wary of their moments in transition. We have to be good on their moments in transition defensively and offensively. Keep attacking, stay on the front foot, don't get complacent, keep being aggressive.
Yeah, you'd have to think that is certainly something to be wary of if you're Portland, as Heath just barely manages to keep that ball in bounds. Don't get comfortable, as you have a very hungry Washington Spirit team who would love to be able to find a goal, find something positive, especially here in this special venue at Audi Field. First time ever for women's professional soccer here. Beautiful new home of DC United that opened last month. Celeste Bure has 2 runners there, and Serna Gorcevic is going to come up with it. A little too unselfish. Could have taken the shot herself, and instead it amounts to nothing. Heath having her way when the ball is at her feet. The shot is high. Quick one-touch setup there for Haran, though, from Crnogorčević.
This is the last look at Crnogorčević. Just wins that battle with Estelle Johnson, and then I think she's trying to slide that across to Haley Rasso, and then here's Tobin Heath again going 1v1 against Smith. Good positioning there and layers with Crnogorčević just holding up play and Haran sneaking in underneath. And that's all in the 18-yard box.
Yeah.
That last attack, by the way, the previous one was set up by Celeste Bouret, and her ability in midfield, we don't speak about her often, but she does some subtle things incredibly well, and she's the one who slipped in Crnogorčević.
Yeah, she's one of those, as you said, with all of the big names around Portland, you don't talk about number 30, Celeste Bouret, very much, but she has worked her way into the starting lineup now for 11 straight for the Thorns team and is playing an important role.
Really important, because Lindsey Horan has the freedom to go, and so she's the one that has to hold down the fort in front of that back line. Oftentimes they get their outside backs rotated high as well.
Offside against Mallory Pugh will halt this attack for Washington.
This is the look at the one with Celeste Bouret. Watch her positioning, just sitting in that gap first of all, and then the recognition that no one's coming close so she can face, and then the little depth touch in behind. You saw the spin on it, it just glides right into the path of Crnogorčević. So well done.
Heath. Vanna Salon wisely came over to help, but does wind up giving up the corner. Fourth of the match for Portland. Aubrey Bledsoe trying to set her defenders in front of her. Portland so dangerous on any set piece. Tobin Heath puts it up. And Crnogorčević frustrated with herself, not able to get it back to Heath. Crnogorčević, first player from Switzerland to play in the NWSL, over 100 appearances, and is the all-time leading scorer for the Switzerland women's national team, over 50 goals. So brings some great international experience here to the NWSL, her first year in this league with Portland. And she's got some big qualifying matches coming up. Chance for her nation to qualify for next summer's Women's World Cup in France. That's what she'll be doing over the break. Not much of a break. Switzerland has matches against Scotland and Poland.
That's better defense by Washington.
Unfortunately for them, though, it winds up with Rasso. Johnson laid a foot out there, broke it up for a moment anyway. Haran coming back for the ball, sees Carpenter wide open on the far side, delivers it. Carpenter still trying to go against a couple of defenders. It's another bright young player to watch in this league. Ellie Carpenter, just 18 years old, Australian international. Midge Purse got the start at left back for Portland tonight due to a late scratch to Megan Klingenberg. Rebecca Quinn, a late scratch for Washington in the back line. Sinclair. Heath. Bending it in, and the save by Bledsoe.
Portland again just having their way, creating chance after chance. Tobin Heath trying to curl that into the far post. Bledsoe read it all the way, but it's just too easy to get around the outside for Portland on this near side.
Aubrey Bledsoe now over 100 saves for the season. She came in needing just 7. I shouldn't say just 7. That's a pretty decent number of saves to have to make in a match, but needing 7 saves to tie the NWSL single season record. Ellie Carpenter, one of several Australians not only in NWSL but on this Portland Thorns team. Haley Rasso, Caitlin Ford, player you may see off the bench tonight. Horan, as she so often does, won that ball in the air. Here's Bure. Softer touch to Surna Gorcevic. Rasso back to the Swiss international, across the face of the goal. Horan waiting for it. Washington escapes.
But Portland just cycling it back in. That outlet for Washington hasn't been there in the early goings of this second half.
Long ball into the box. Bledsoe, it hung for so long. She punched it in, and again it is Rasso down on the ground. And no ill will there, just a goalkeeper trying to clear the ball. But gosh, Rasso has been hit hard. I think that's the 3rd time this match. Got to imagine that's going to have Mark Parsons looking over to his bench considering substitution.
Yeah, I don't know if Rasso just didn't anticipate Bledsoe to be that far off her line. You can see all eyes on the ball, and then that challenge comes in from behind. If I'm Mark Parsons, saying, just stay out of those for the moment, Rasso.
Yeah. Although that's, you know, that's her nature, getting after it, going for the ball, and you never, of course, want to take any sort of aggression away. But at the same time, to your point, she's gotten the worst of it a few times tonight.
And so many times when a ball is lofted at that trajectory, you know that there's enough time for the goalkeeper to get off her line and come make a play on it. So you've got to anticipate it coming. Oh, that's crazy if it is a foul on Rasso.
That's what we're being told, which I would be utterly ridiculous. I don't think there was a foul either way. I mean, I don't know what you think. I mean,
I'm with you.
Bledsoe is clearly just coming out to punch the ball.
And both players have all eyes for it. You almost wonder there if Estelle gives a little nudge to Rasso as well.
I mean, she's clearly trying to play the ball.
Yeah, and nothing there from Estelle. So I just wouldn't call anything.
Right. Well, as we've talked about, plenty on the line for Mark Parsons and the Portland Thorns tonight. They sit in 3rd place, 36 points, trying to keep up with their rivals from Seattle to set up what would just be a massive showdown in a couple of weeks at Providence Park. If Portland can win tonight, they will have done everything they can to continue to control their own destiny. Seattle also with a chance to do that. Could come down to that match to determine who will be hosting that other semifinal, along with North Carolina. We know they'll be hosting the 2nd semifinal in the NWSL playoffs. Like we said, it's been a rough night for Haley Rasso. This will look back to the first half and the first time she took a big hit.
And it was from Church from the side. And then this one's from Bledsoe from behind.
Ouch. The stretcher has been brought out for Haley Rasso. Certainly hope she'll be back on her feet before long. Spent some time in an ice bath, I imagine. That's in her future.
Yeah, and you'd wonder if at this point, if she can't come back on and play, why risk it and bring on Caitlin Ford?
Yeah, Ford's a player who I know Mark Parsons didn't want to start back-to-back just simply because he is still bringing her back from an injury she suffered in the W League semifinal. Didn't make her first appearance this season until August 5th. Has played just 4 times, had her first start on Wednesday night, but looked like she was still sitting down on the bench.
And Rasso just looks to be in an awful lot of pain.
Yeah. So at the moment, Portland down a player. Now it does look like Ford is getting set to check in. I think Mark Parsons wanted to bring her in at some point anyway, but certainly this was not the type of circumstance he envisioned to have to make the substitution. Menges, one of the most solid defenders in that back line for Portland, and I think so incredible that she has only committed 1 foul this season. And I would imagine, without doing the research on the fly, that there's not another center back in the league you could say that about.
Well, a lot of it is due just to her smart positioning. She reads the play so well. She usually gets that one step on the attacker. She has really well-timed tackles.
Caitlin Ford does make it official, comes into the match for Rasso. Immediately gets onto the ball. Oh, she's hungry for her first goal. Heard her tell you in our pregame show. What a ball! Sinclair to it, back to Horan, header, cleared off the line. Andy Sullivan keeping it out of the goal that time for Washington. Good long throw, one of the weapons of Ellie Carpenter to her Australian national team teammate. Ford, back heel from Heath. Smith charging forward. Still Johnson knocks that one out of bounds. Let's go down to Dallin. Dallin, you have an update from the field on Rasso?
Yeah, unfortunately, she's still laying in the stretcher right now. They're trying to figure out how to get her off the field because right now she's so much lower back pain that they're not going to sit her up. So they're trying to figure out right now how to manage that situation by keeping her horizontal but getting her off the field. They're still determining if they're going to take her to a hospital or do some sort of examination, further examination here. But I'll try to update you as we hear more.
Yeah, thank you, Dallin. It's never good to hear. See if anybody can keep possession here for a couple of passes. Bouret, not an easy ball for Sonnet to handle, but no problem. Nobody really around her pressuring for Washington. Gorcevic, who's out wide at the moment, pushed down. So it'll be a free kick for the Thorns.
And it's just an efficient change of point attack for Portland. They spring it outside to Gorcevic, and you see her pull away there from Eubanks. She trips her up from behind. We know how dangerous Portland can be on these set plays.
Said it earlier in the match that Portland has scored 14 times off of set pieces this season, including both of their goals on Wednesday night's win over Sky Blue FC from the penalty spot and from a free kick from that woman right there, Tobin Heath. Keep an eye on number 10, Lindsay Horan.
Washington has everyone back, so Portland doesn't even need their 4 players.
Horan was the target. Johnson won it, and a foul committed by Portland in the process. Big smile from Horan after the fact. Washington now will be making a substitution. Caprice Didasco, who typically we see as a starting left back for this Washington team, replaces Savannah Salon. So let's see how they arrange themselves, as they have found a way now, you can see, to carry Haley Rasso off.
Well, it looks like immediately Eubanks pops up top and Didasco slides into that back line, Jen.
What do you think of that move for Washington?
I think it's wise. Tom wants to continue to get Mallory Eubanks minutes, knowing that she's been called up into the U23s and to develop her as a player. So she's got to look, and been under a lot of pressure in that left back role now. Put her somewhere where she's perhaps more comfortable in an attacking spot.
Portland leading Washington 1-0 behind a goal from Tobin Heath in the 15th minute. Jen Hildreth, Ali Wagner, Dallin Cuff from our NWSL on ESPN Game of the Week, presented by Lifetime. First time ever from Audi Field. It is a beautiful facility. And the Portland Thorns with an opportunity to host a semifinal. But first things first, have to take care of business here tonight. First step toward doing that is to come away from this match with 3 points. Meanwhile, remember, you do have a Washington team that has had a season that has been very difficult. They have 9 straight losses. They have not scored in the last 6. You know this is a team coming off a coaching change that would love to try to find something positive, especially with the opportunity to play in front of these fans here at Audi Field. No easy feat doing that against a Thorns team that looks to be in a postseason form. Come in having won 5 of the last 7. Caitlin Ford just checked into the match a few moments ago, uses her left foot. It is still alive. Bledsoe got a hand on it initially and then denied Crnogorcevic from close range.
And it all started with Tobin Heath. She's the one who lays Caitlin Ford into space, and then that near post run for Crnogorcevic. She actually had Horan at the back post, who I thought she was going to go for, but she has a nice little chip in. Well off her line is Bledsoe.
Here's Caprice Didasco trying to start something on the other end for Washington. And as that goes out of bounds, let's go back to Dallin with more on the Haley Rasso situation.
Thanks, Jen. They were able to get Haley Rasso loaded into the golf cart in the stretcher, and they're taking her now to the locker room. They're talking to the training staff. There's no intention right now to take her to the hospital, but just to the locker room now for further evaluation. It is a lower back injury. She's in an incredible amount of pain, so they're going to try to manage that situation.
Wow. Well, as we said, we certainly will wait to see how Haley Rasso is able to come out of that. Hope for the best for her, of course. And the break will do her some good. This was the play from just a moment ago here.
And they call it on Ford. And I think that's a really bad call there. That was Estelle Johnson and Ford just battling, and I think Ford got the better of her.
Taylor Smith had that one tapped out of bounds by Purse.
This is one of the few times we've seen Washington there attacking the end in the second half, and I was wondering about when Portland would sit back and absorb more, knowing that one of the strengths of Washington is on the break. This has all been about Washington creating.
Ashley Hatch, much like Ellie Carpenter on the other end, has a long throw at her disposal. Had to keep it away from her end, though, if you put it in the air.
Just little things that you see out of Ford. Bring that ball down, hold off pressure. Another weapon for Portland.
Caitlin Ford, her first year with this Portland team. She played previously in the NWSL, a couple of seasons with Sky Blue FC, was named the second 11 in 2013. But this is a 23-year-old who, if you think back, she's 2 World Cups under her belt for Australia, and in 2011 was named the young player of that tournament. I think you have to be a bit concerned on the international stage about this Australia team and how loaded they are. We've seen what Sam Kerr can do. She scored again tonight for Chicago and reclaimed her lead in the Golden Boot race.
And how well they tend to play the United States.
Yeah. Ford, Rasso, both part of the attacking unit for this Portland Thorns team.
Carpenter, add her to the list.
Lana Kennedy, Steph Catley, shall we go on? Several Australians who have been bright spots in this league. Minutes gone now. That lone goal from Portland in the 15th minute, the difference in this one. And you know, we've talked a lot about the playoff scenarios. A draw, by the way, would take Portland out of the running for that second place spot. So that's something to remember. If Washington does find a way to come back and tie here, a draw takes away any chance of Portland in second. Seattle would clinch.
And that's a fair point, and why they would continue to press on. I know this is their style anyways, to be on the front foot. That's what Mark Parson told Dallin at half. But it doesn't feel like it's been a 1-0 game.
Portland certainly has had more of the ball, had more of the opportunities, forced Washington to defend an awful lot. Lavelle up the middle for Maggie Doherty Howard. Back out she goes to Pugh. Mallory Pugh. Tough one for Lavelle to handle. Didasco. Her right-footed shot is high. And this all started with Smith to Lavelle. Lavelle then slips in Doherty Howard. That takes out the whole midfield line, and she has space to run at the back line. And then it's 1v1 with Pugh Magus. Magus does a good job of slowing her down, allowing Portland's numbers to get back. But that pass is just off. Allows Bouret to close down, and then you see the waves of pressure coming. Didasco has enough time and space to get that shot off. She's looking far post. That's what Portland has to be wary of. It's on the break. Carpenter had the touch, then the turn. Mangus named the second 11 last season, the best 11 2 years ago. Trying to send Ford forward. Haran looking toward that far post. A header from Gorcevic. She's unable to get that one on target. And this is the 15th minute, the difference in this match so far.
With Razzle getting in line, and then Tobin Heath goes 1v1 against Smith, roofs it near post. Such a thing of beauty. But Tobin Heath, we haven't seen her filter over. She's been staying wide more often now on this near side. In the first half, she was coming over a lot, creating those overloads.
Allie, I know you and Dallin talked to several of the Portland players before the match. Were they all watching that Seattle, North Carolina? Were they aware of the whole thing?
They said they were on the bus, and as soon as they tied it up in those waning moments, there was a lot of hooting and hollering.
Well, not only do they never want to see their rivals probably pick up 3 points, but as we've talked about, keeps their home playoff hopes alive in the semis.
Probably first and last time they cheer for North Carolina.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was interesting talking to Mark Parsons this week, and he said, you know, that they know these last few weeks they've been chasing Seattle, and then he kind of caught himself and he said, well, I mean, chasing North Carolina too, but it's, you know, North Carolina is so far out in front of everybody, and we've known they've been in. They're the Shield winners, so you kind of look at those directly in front of you, but make no mistake, come postseason, all these teams know who they're looking up to and who they're going to try to take down. Bure. Heath stuck her foot out for it. Couldn't do much more than that. If you're Washington, what would you like to see from them, Allie, to give them their best shot here?
Well, even just moments ago, you saw their pressure when they amped it up a bit. They forced Portland to be on their back heel and turn it over.
They've switched the fields this time as Pugh carried it across. Now it's to Didasco. Caprice Didasco into the area. Out to Eubanks. Eubanks' cross beyond everyone. Hatch will be able to get to it. Trying to step over against Purse, but has to play back. Expect a good round of applause here for Washington, as longtime fan favorite for the Spirit, Joanna Lohman, will replace Rose Lavelle. What did you make of Lavelle's night?
Rather quiet, in fact, but I think that's been the case with Washington all year long, is not being able to find those attacking players in advanced roles. But she started bright, but in the second half waned away. I know she said her fitness is still something to come. Perhaps that's a reason for it.
Corner kick on the way now for Washington. Looks like Pugh will be the one to take it. First of this second half for the Spirit. Sullivan all the way over to Didasco. Will be a throw for Washington. Lohman. And just like that, back to Portland. More updates to give you on our NWSL scoreboard. Orlando, Chicago, a very important match. You know that 1-1 draw that North Carolina equalized in stoppage time. Chicago has now taken a 3-0 lead, and if Orlando loses, their playoff hopes go out the door. A loss, and they will be eliminated from the playoff race. Sam Kerr has scored a couple of times, along with Vanessa DiBernardo. Houston, Linda Malala with the goal for the Dash as they try to keep their playoff hopes alive as well. Crowd trying to get behind this Washington Spirit team. Another substitution on the way for Portland. It'll be the 23-year-old Brazilian Andressinha replacing Surna Gorcevic. How do you think the Thorns will shift with this change?
I'm curious to see if Sinclair moves, because Andressinha will come into the midfield more than likely. She's a player that can bring more tempo, get control of the game, because I do think that to a certain extent Portland has lost that a bit in these last 5-7 minutes or so, and Washington's got on the upper hand. But we'll see if they shift into a more defensive system. That would be the other option.
One change remaining for each team. Ford coming away with it over to Sinclair, who tried to go right back to Ford. Nearly gets it back. Haran. There is Andressinha. Tedesco. Pugh trying to run for it. Menges had to come over and clear.
And when you see moments like that from Pugh, you wonder why she doesn't get involved more often. I know she's a young player, but you want her to go find the game, because she's capable of breaking lines on the dribble, continuing her run to the box. She's the one who starts out and almost finishes it. But to no avail, because that'll be her last intervention.
Her last, and the first appearance of the season for Ariel Shipp. So she makes her season debut. Ball into the box, and French calmly grabs it. Sullivan up to Doherty Howard. Salon heading it toward Lohman. Joanna Lohman, 1 goal on the season. It came way back in the beginning of the season. Sinclair. Just a little behind Caitlin Ford that time.
And I think Tobin Heath had Caitlin Ford initially.
Shipp forward for Hatch, but too much on it. Another goal for Houston. Veronica Latsko doubling up their advantage over Sky Blue FC. Remember, both Houston, Utah, Orlando, Chicago, they're all still alive, all still trying to fight, although the hopes for Orlando seem to be heading out the window as Chicago with that 3-0 lead. Nope, 3-1 now. Orlando has scored, so 3-1 lead as Alex Morgan scored in that match. That one is in the 67th minute in Orlando.
Still time.
That there is. We have seen late drama in this league before, and there will certainly be drama in a couple of weeks when we head back out to Providence Park in Portland, Oregon. Prime time, September 7th on Lifetime. The Thorns and the Rain. Coverage beginning at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, live in prime time. Be sure to tune in for that one.
And Jen, answer your question. Portland looks to be in more of a 4-2-3-1 with Andresina actually on that right side. Sinclair holding steady there at the top of that triangle in the center of the midfield. And that is more of a defensive look. Caitlin Ford will just be the outlet.
A little too much contact there. Had a nice conversation with Joanna Lohman before the match. Just wanted to get her take on the entire situation. And she admitted it has really been challenging. And Joanna, one of the oldest players in this league, she doesn't want to be done yet. And this is not how she wanted her playing career to end either. So I think she was certainly hopeful that some changes are afoot and that could be a good thing for this Spirit team. Smith took a hit from her end.
Smith and Heath been going at it. I know Horan's the one that gets her in the end, but it was Tobin Heath trying to recover it and back on Smith. You asked for battles I wanted to see. Well, that one's shaping up nicely, and I didn't anticipate it.
Whitney Church. Whistle will have her try that again. Take two for Church and Washington. Unfortunately for the Spirit, they could set some records they would rather not set tonight. A loss would set the NWSL record both for consecutive losses. That would bring it up to 10, and overall losses in a season to 17. It has just been that kind of a year, unfortunately, for this Washington Spirit team.
And they do have the talent. I think that's been the most frustrating part for this squad, and I know they've been laced with injuries as well.
Lohman clipped from behind by Bure. Smith trying to get to that end line, get her cross through. Won't do that, but will get the corner. Set pieces can be the great equalizer. Does Washington have one in them here?
Smith did incredibly well there too, because she had no help. So she drives end line, forces the issue against Andresina, who had to go to ground.
It'll be Church to take this corner as well. Everyone on the move for Washington. French got to the ball before anybody else could.
This is a great snag by French, because Ariel Ship is really there all over her, and French has to shuffle those feet across and hold on to that as she goes to ground.
Andresina. Portland may feel they deserved more than one goal in this match, but at this point they will try to take just that and hang on and get the full 3 points with that one goal. Unless, of course, an opportunity presents itself. Ford sends it across.
Well, it's that balance. I continuously am looking at Portland's shape and how they're protecting against the counterattack, and they are keeping numbers back. But they still have the players up top who can wreak havoc. Tobin Heath just going to go to the corner, try to see this one out. Smith catches her from behind.
Heath trying to get her teammates where she wants them to be to get ready. She will play it short, just try to take a few more ticks off of that clock. And she gets fouled again in that corner.
It's a veteran move by Tobin Heath to get everyone on the same page, because let's not forget that it was Ford who tried to slide that across the 18. Still looking for goal.
If you're Portland, let's say the score stands. They come out. I know they're going to be happy to get the win. How do you think they feel about their performance? It is their third match in a week as well, with the midweek. As Ford comes through. Minutes of stoppage time added on. Most of that eaten up with that Haley Rasso injury. And Taylor Smith saying, look, I'm not fouling you this time.
I think it's been a strong performance by Portland. There were really quality glimpses that you get out of this attacking side at this point, but I think they look solid defensively, and they really didn't give Washington much to sniff at. At this point, there's still 5 minutes, as you said, Jen.
Yeah, which really is a decent amount of time with which to work. Washington trying to get something going on that far sideline. The time against them. Spirit, with just one game remaining, will actually take place during the international break. It's against Sky Blue FC. So an opportunity for two teams that really desperately would like to have a positive result and ending to their season. An opportunity there for them both to get that. Reminder that we are coming up on a FIFA international break. The U.S. women's national team will be in action for a couple of friendlies against Chile, their final preparation before World Cup qualifying in the fall. Both of those matches will be available on ESPN2. It'll be on Friday, August 31st, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, and then Tuesday, September 4th at 10 p.m. Eastern. Both of those matches out west in Carson, California, and San Jose, California, respectively. One more substitution coming for Portland. It'll be Tyler Lucy. She had to start some matches early on, Lucy, for this Portland Thorns team when players like Tobin Heath were injured, but has not been called upon as often lately. She'll come on now and let Heath have at least a couple minutes of a break.
And I wonder if the ref made her go off that far side, because there's no way that Tobin Heath wouldn't saunter and kill some more time off this clock.
She was sauntering rather slowly over there.
As she should.
She's been playing well, hasn't she, Tobin?
It's remarkable. I mean, her ability, I know, her ability to just 1v1, you can just go look up any clips on YouTube and you'll see it. But I think the other things that she's brought is her awareness of where to be and when. With this Portland side, it's really adding a different element for them in the attack.
Wednesday night, she picked up another assist, tied for the all-time lead in assists in this league. Caitlin Ford may get an opportunity she wasn't necessarily anticipating, but they'll be waved off by the offside flag. Already 4 minutes into the allotted minimum of 5 minutes of stoppage time. So your thoughts on Washington in this match? I mean, we've talked about the season they've had. Were there some bright spots? Something to at least positive to take out of this one?
I think they were bright players. Bright glimpses of those players, if you will. I don't know that you saw much different cohesion to the squad. I think you saw more freedom, and that was something that the players were longing for, and so that's something that they can take out of here, but you're just not going to build Rome overnight.
Right.
It's just too disjointed.
Hatch with a turn into the area, near post. French falls on it, and you'd imagine that is just about going to do it. Portland Thorns came in knowing they needed a win to keep their hopes alive of claiming that second spot in a home semifinal. They get the win in 1-0 shutout fashion over the Spirit.
Mentality peaking at the right time and getting the job done. That's what this Portland side's about, and I think you're seeing an ascension as they head into playoffs.
Heath's goal in the 15th minute, the difference in this one. So now there you go, the updated standings. Portland moving to within just a couple of points of Seattle, setting up that match on September 7th in a couple of weeks out in Portland. Now let's go down to the field in Dallin.
Thanks, Jen. Congratulations, Adriana. Another clean sheet. Now we already know it's set up now. 2 weeks, you're going to play with a chance to host a semifinal if you can beat Seattle on your field. How excited are you for that opportunity for your club?
I mean, that was what we talked about at the beginning of this game is, you know, we need to take care of this game before that next. And now that that next is in front of us, we're all super excited. I mean, they finished it. I didn't have to deal with much this game, so that was a friggin' team performance to make sure to be disciplined, to make sure we get that game, and we set our destiny.
Thanks a lot. Congratulations. Enjoy it. We'll see you in a few weeks.
Appreciate it.
We'll come back. We'll wrap it up here. Portland Thorns get it done. 1-0 win over the Spirit, setting up a showdown in 2 weeks in the Pacific Northwest. We'll be back here at Audi Field in just a minute.